What's up? Okay, so this interview is going to be a bit different. So on September 1st, 2018, the weekend of Shrekfest, what up? Matthew Lucas, John Beatty, and Dennis, whatever his last name is, we went to Shrekfest. We went to Madison, Wisconsin, and we all formed up, and I was like, I like Matt's stuff. He's a good guy. Figure I could get a conversation out of him, maybe make a little content out of it. So I asked him, like, yo, could I film an interview with you? And he's like, no, but I did it anyway, because I need the views. I need the clout. Excuse me, I just moved my table. It's not very sturdy. So, this is what it's going to be. Now, I need to give a little context because I'm not a great videographer when it comes to making sort of a vloggy style intro to this video. It's going to be just kind of random shit connected haphazardly. So, it's us traveling. We're going to Madison. John and I were driving up. We stopped and got food. Didn't get any footage of that. We go to the airport. We find Matt randomly. We searched for him for like a good 20 minutes. Had no idea what we were doing. Had no idea where to find him. We got to like a weird train thing that's, ferrying people to and fro to figure out where they go. We found him, thankfully, not after too much longer. Not a lot of hassle. Just kind of like stumbled upon each other. So I didn't get footage of me actually seeing him, so you'll see. But yeah, and then we got to the hotel. We hung out for a little bit. And then the night of the 1st on Saturday, we brought our shit, like the camera and stuff, into our hotel room, and what you see is what you get, So, yeah. There's that. Another thing, some technical difficulties happened. So the camera that I had, which is, it's not a video camera. It's like a nice photography. It's like a Nikon or a Kodak or Nikon. I said that. Not made for making videos. So it only shot for about 12 to 15 minutes max. And I wanted to sort of long form, podcasty thing. Think like Red Letter Media. They talk for like 50 minutes or whatever, and it seems pretty straight. They edit, the dead air out, but otherwise, like it was, they kind of just riff and go on for a long time. Couldn't do that. And it kind of sucks. You have questions that you want your, interviewee to talk about and expound upon for a long time and sort of weave in different questions and stuff. And it wasn't an ideal situation. I feel like, I'm not that I'm not proud of this. I'm glad I got to talk to him. Like, I don't regret it. But I just wish we could have, things worked out and I had planned better. But so that's what's going to happen. You're going to see sort of random cuts. We try and fill those with advertisements. You'll see. You'll see. It'll become self-explanatory. I just wanted to give more context as to why this is the form that this is taken and why it's so choppy a little bit. Yeah, I was kind of off my game. But, we got some decent stuff. So please enjoy if you can. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just...
No, yeah, sure.
Are you taking pictures instead?
No, I'm trying to... And so it begins.
Don't
know I go to the planetarium first and the field museum.
Right.
Personally. Oh, okay. They all have like their own.
Okay, so we picked up Matt. Hi, Matt.
What up?
We got him. So, yeah, I forgot. I was gonna film you walking up, but then I found you on a train quickly.
It just the whole thing just didn't really work out.
Yeah, no.
So we'll just set up like we'll do like a reenactment when we get there. We'll just be like, hey, are you Zach? Oh, wow.
I've never seen your face before.
Yeah, never. Not once.
All right, yeah, that's
Great. It'll be perfect. That's exactly what we'll do.
You'll like it. You'll like it.
2 hours later.
Is that Matt?
It is.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! What?
Hey.
I'm meeting you for the first time, and I've never met you before, and definitely did not get a car ride from you at all.
No. Wait.
Oh,
Who's
that? I thought he was on your shirt.
Oh. No, it was no one. Oh wait. Is that Mario?
Hey guys,
It's me, the hat-wearing gamer.
Oh my God! Nice shirt. Thank you. How you doing? Oh my God!
And uncircumcised at the same time.
Yo, it's a Schrodinger circumcision.
You're in superposition with your own circumcision.
Can you say that? Can you legally say that? Fucking Christ.
Oh my God!
And we begin.
Whoa!
Yeah. So
Magic.
we're here. Matt,
Hi.
I, Dennis.
Hey guys.
Camera. Some technical difficulties. Anyway.
We met in the hallway.
We all met in the hallway. We
I
just found each
teleported
other.
here.
Right.
I definitely didn't get a car right here from Zach. That didn't happen.
No, the back seat was empty the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it didn't happen.
Oh, sorry. I don't want the cup in the shot. Anyway, okay. Let's begin.
Okay,
this interview.
let's begin. How's it going?
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
Actually, you're supposed to ask me that, so like you can do
Okay,
that.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
here. We got Shrekfest tomorrow, fam.
Right. And you might see some intermittent footage of Shrekfest, so
Some
look out for that.
Shrekage.
Yeah.
Keep your onions peeled, everyone, for some Shrek footage
Oh, okay.
before this video is ogre.
Okay. Anyway, continue. Continue.
Could you not hijack the video? This is about Matt. This is his time. You got 4 fucking hours.
Okay.
Alright.
We gotta
Okay.
beat it. We gotta go 5 hours.
Right. I don't know if we have enough memory. So, Matthew Lucas started.
Matthew Michael Lucas.
Matthew Lucas.
We're going with Matthew as the middle name?
Yes.
Okay.
Your parents.
I'll change my birth certificate.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Okay.
So you started with Let's Plays.
Well,
Oh no, sorry. You didn't start with Let's.
Yeah, we learned just a minute ago that he didn't start with Let's Plays.
You started with.
Weird opinion videos.
Right.
So I had this blog. Before that, I was on Game Maker and like I made a bunch of crappy games that turned into comics and this whole like thing. Rebooted the comic twice. It was great. But then I made I had a blog and I did like these weird rants on topics that I thought I knew a lot about, but I was in middle school and didn't know a lot about. Mm-hmm. Crazy middle schoolers are smart now. I was dumb in middle school. I didn't know anything. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I have this blog, but then I liked writing. I was like, no, I think I'm gonna do this as a video. Mm-hmm. So then I did that, and I made a bunch of a few videos of my opinions, and it was called MML's OPC, and it stands for opinions, perspectives, and something. It wasn't commentaries. Right. Wasn't commentaries, but it was something.
Okay. And then, so then you went on to make your. I mean, so obviously you did there was the whole coalition. What was it called?
Okay, so what happened was Alex, my best friend Alex, got me into Minecraft through watching a Let's Play, and then I was like, I think we both were like, yo, we could do that too. So we did that. It was not good. And then I came with the novel idea of I could do that with a different video game, and then I did that without realizing that other people did that. Mm-hmm. And then over time, I met more people that did that, and that's how I met like Hat Wearing Gamer, because he was a Let's Player before. That's how I met Originally Chris, who mostly does like streaming stuff now, but he has also some of the funniest like in real life videos, like IRL kind of videos on YouTube. Like it's this video where he like pretends to donate to PewDiePie in increasingly higher donations. So like he starts with like $1, but like it's just footage from his video, and he just gets ignored. So he's like, well, he's not acknowledging my donation, and it keeps going up to like 1 million. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm broke and homeless, and PewDiePie won't notice me. He's like so funny. So I met all these people, and we did a bunch of projects together, and a bunch on my own. And I did Let's Play 789, and I moved to my own channel, and I did this collab channel called Pairs of Pears.
Right.
The logo was 2 Google image pears, and I just drew smiley faces.
Mm-hmm. And you met Dennis through doing the Let's Play.
Yeah, so I met Dennis because I did a bunch of like races, and that's probably how I learned to edit really, because like with the Let's Play it's just like game and your voice.
Right.
And like people learn how to get into video their own ways, right? So like, so I guess that was just my path, I guess, because I was a gamer. I still am. I just don't play as much anymore because I don't have time. Right. But like, I was a gamer, so I was like, oh, I want to share that experience with people. But then for some people, it's like, you know, they make some weird films, or they like vlog, or you know, maybe they're musicians or something like that. But for me, it was that. There was this community, you mentioned a community, there's this community called the Fellowship of Players, and I admin for it for a while because the old admins just straight left. They're like, we're done. We left. There's this whole controversy surrounded that I'm not going into. But I took over and with Scott, Hat Wearing Gamer, Originally Chris, Ringy Randy, at the time was known as Ringtail Randall, and some other guy, his name was like Swift, I think. Swift Prod, that was it. Swift Prod, that's the name. Swift Prod. It's like Prod, like what's he producing? Like this freaking Let's Play videos. But no, it was Swift Prod. So it was the 5 of us like adminning this, and the whole idea was it was like, here's how you like improve your Let's Play videos. But it wasn't like high and mighty, like we're so much better. It was like kind of like community feedback, so it kind of fed into itself. So like people went and like people were nominated for the I don't know, exposure or whatever, and people go watch their videos and they leave a comment on the Faction of Players video or Fellowship of Players video, depending on when we're talking about, and then those comments would be featured in the next video. But the audience just wasn't there, and it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, so eventually it was just featured like one comment and the whole thing just died. But I met a lot of people through that. And Chris and I did a bunch of we still might do another one on Mario Galaxy, but we did a bunch of like races, and so we started with Battle for Bikini Bottom, and then we did the full trilogy. So we did Battle for Bikini Bottom, the movie game, and then finished with Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. And in the middle of the Revenge of the Flying Dutchman verse, you can go watch this on his freaking channel. He's like, so there's this dude that like absolutely hates this game. And he like says that he was just so mad about the jellyfishing contest, and we're doing the jellyfishing contest. And I was like, I gotta check this guy's video out. So then I watched that, and I found him. And then like a few weeks later, he posted the MGS5 video, and I joined the Discord server.
Oh, okay.
That's the timeline.
Huh. Yeah.
So it worked out. And at the time, I already knew Scott, and I had just rebooted my stuff, and he was just into rebooting his stuff. So then he eventually got roped in. And there's basically Dennis single-handedly like got everyone to know each other, because he was like, we need to get everyone in this server. And then that server ended up being like a total mess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then like it worked out at the end. I have an itch right here. It's really bugging. Anyway.
You can itch.
So that's how that whole lineage played out, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was neat because it was like, you know, the community that I'd met like through doing Let's Plays, like even though I was leaving doing my own thing, I like kind of quickly moved into meeting other people. And that's like kind of one of the cool things about like doing creative things on the internet is you're just surrounded by other people doing the same thing
Right.
you are, similar things to what you're doing. You just meet a bunch of cool people.
This episode of Interviews, Etc. is sponsored by Well Dirigible. L'original. Sevior Derrible.
Yo, after this pronunciation, if they don't actually sponsor you, like the full open mouth chew.
It's the taste you can see.
Yo, resuming.
You want me to zoom?
No. Keep it where it is. All right. So who? This is an obvious question, but I mean, I find it interesting. Who inspired you at first to do like your Mario video? And I mean, even who has inspired you?
Okay,
up
so
until now, even obviously that's sort of constant because as people
that's changed a lot. The reason why I wanted to do the Mario video, was it was
Running
originally
Mario
inspired by like you know those like countdown people, like the people that like not Watch Mojo, but like the people that like are super. I'm thinking like the best example, like the name that comes to my mind is Rabid Luigi. Not from the game, but like there's all the jokes about him being in the game now.
Mm-hmm.
But like Rabid Luigi, the Autark was one that was like everyone loved for a while, but now he does like voice acting stuff. So like people like that, they did these like countdown videos, and they were pretty like not great.
Peanut Butter Gamer.
I mean, that's more personality. So, like, I did put a little bit of personality in the Mario running video, because that was still leftover Let's Play voice, you know? Like, when I did the Let's Plays, I put on a voice, because I thought I wasn't entertaining enough just, like, on my own, which is true. So, like, you know, it would be like, I would go and be like, welcome, folks, to the, you know, Donkey Kong. You're, like, trying real hard not to laugh. So the Mario running video, like, all those in real life, like, camera segments were like that was leftovers from that.
Okay.
So that wasn't like influenced by like JonTron or Peanut Butter Gamer or something like that, but most of the thing was like it was supposed to be this fusion of like the top 10 like countdown, like, you know, kind of more opinionated kind of thing, fused with like this really dry like Matthew Matosis content.
Okay.
So I don't remember how I found Matthew Matosis at all, but like I loved his stuff right from the outset because I thought it was like.
I mean, what year would this be? Like 2015?
When I started, so 2015,
Yeah.
So I really like that sort of dry, like, you know, that whole thing. But over time, I've gotten more and more influence from outside sources, even outside of, like, video essays. Like, one of my favorite channels now is Dead End Hip Hop.
Okay. Yeah,
and they, like, it's just 4 dudes, 5 dudes, but one of them's always holding the camera.
Right.
And he sometimes talks. He sometimes talks in the videos, but it's just 4 dudes talking about an album. Like an album came out, and they're just talking about it. And I think it's really cool, like how that works. So I think there's an element where like now when I'm writing a script or something like that, where I'm not trying to be like writing an essay for school, where sometimes I'm like, you know, well this video requires this tone, and that's what I want to make. Yeah. So, like with Monopoly, I talked a little bit more about personal anecdotes.
Yeah.
Video coming up, gonna be even more so. Okay. But then there's something like the Danganronpa video where it was just like pretty dry in terms of the writing style, even though I did have a few me's and I's in there. But it was more dry. So I think there's like a spectrum to it.
Yeah.
So I think I pull because of that, like I'm influenced from kind of everywhere. But the coolest thing is like I was saying earlier, like the whole thing, like having all these people that make the same kind of creative things that you do and doing it in their own ways, like that's always a constant inspiration, you know? Because it's like, you know, I can see something and I'd be like, I really like that, and then that inspires me to do my own thing on that. And that's not ripping off, but like everyone like takes things from other people, you know? Like my editing now, like the reason why I grew to love editing so much is because Dennis over there linked me a Mr. Amazing video.
Oh yeah.
On editing, and it like before then I was just like match the clip to the thing, right? But then the next level above that is then there's two things, right? So then the level above that is then how are you introducing those clips and how are they going in and how are they going out? And then the next thing is how are you maintaining interest while that's happening?
Yeah.
So if it's just a picture, you can just put a picture on screen, or you can zoom it in. And then what are you zooming in to? And why are you zooming in? Could you be zooming out?
Yeah.
And then like all these different questions. And I think that's really interesting. That's what makes editing so interesting and exciting, which is why I do so many more like heavy transition-based edits in a lot of my stuff now, because I find that interesting. And more visually engaging too. So I think I think because I know so many people and I've grown to like be friends with so many cool people that like I can pull from all those different things and be like, yeah, that's really cool, and then kind of be myself and express myself through all the things I've learned.
Right.
Okay, so this episode of Interviews Etc. is brought to you by Arrow Peppermint Menthe Bar. If you want to pop a boy, then you can do that because there's some bubbles in here and they're gonna pop in your mouth. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It'll be like that, but like with every bite, and it'll be like tons of those. It'll be fantastic.
It's bubble wrap.
It's bubble wrap, but it's chocolate.
Yeah.
And peppermint and menthe, whatever that is.
Menthol.
Yeah, menthol. Like, yeah.
Like a cigarette.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can smoke this too. Just like hold up a flame, yeah.
I think this is false advertising.
That we're not actually sponsored
For
by them.
disclosure, it's not Pop Rocks in there. It's just it only works if you let it melt on your mouth. Anybody who's interested. So
Hashtag eat your phone.
yeah,
Does
if
it
you
pop?
eat it like a regular chocolate bar, then you don't get that experience.
Will
you
it
know?
pop if you let it sit?
Yeah, it'll start popping, but
Okay.
like on your tongue. It
Yeah.
pops as it melts.
Oh, okay.
That's kind yeah.
Because it opens the
Yeah.
the hole.
Yeah.
I hashtag ate my phone. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, no, that was really good. Hashtag eat your phone. Oh no! Oh my god! No!
Oh no! Oh no! That's not sanitary. What is this sponsorship? We don't even know anymore. Oh, it's fallen.
Matt, knock knock.
Who's there?
I got up.
I got up. Who?
The bathroom's over there. God's sake.
What's back there?
Yeah,
it's John?
It's John, yeah.
Hello.
Jontron?
John.
Is that Jontron? What?
It's American Jontron.
I think Jontron is American.
Yo, welcome to the interview.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys were still interviewing. I heard editing, and I was like,
No,
Well, you
no,
can
it's
just
fine.
hang out.
That's fine. You can hang out. You're good.
Yeah.
Hey, it's John.
It's John.
Woo!
He's sweating. Jesus. Oh
His head is not in that. You just see two thumbs go like, whoa!
I was talking with Miles recently,
Mhm.
and he was sort of having an existential crisis about like why he makes videos. So I figured I might ask you, like, why do you make videos?
I think like I don't know, I've always done something in the background. I always like being creative. Like my whole thing, like I tell people this, like, because I'm on the job hunt. So if you need an editor, like yo, I'm here. So like I've always done something in the background. So my thing I keep telling people is like, you know, when I get a job, like an editing job or something like that, like I'll have fun with it, but it's not gonna be like my career is not gonna be like the super creative thing that I like super enjoy doing. It's like I'll go to work and I'll enjoy work and I'll do something that I like, but I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna do creative things that I like really enjoy doing, because I know that the creative things I enjoy doing aren't sustainable.
Right.
I always tell people I would never do YouTube as a full-time job.
Mhm.
Because it takes the fun out of it. It's like I can't then just spend months working on some crazy hour-long project or something like that, or I can't, drop off the face of the earth to like go back into music production for a little bit,
Yeah.
or like do something like that. Like I would have to keep up a consistent thing, and then that just kind of kills it. So get a job and then do the creative stuff in the background. So for me, this is just the creative thing right now.
Mhm.
And I think it stems from like I've always loved writing. I wanted to be an author when I was super young,
Yeah.
but then I realized that I'm not good at like coming up with original stories. So here we are talking about other people's work.
Right.
So like, yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's just the new creative thing, and it's like I love editing. I love writing. I've always loved writing essays. Like, you know, I would take writing classes, and people would be like, "I hate having to do this essay." I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna write this the night before. I'm gonna have a blast. It's gonna be great." Because everyone else is like, "I'm gonna write this a week before and then crazy edit it." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna write it the night before. I'm just gonna dedicate like the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'll write it then, and I'll go to sleep, and I'll wake up the next morning, and I'll like look over it and get a new fresh set of eyes on it, and I'll hand it in."
Yeah.
And I got a good grade. I get a great. I can't even talk. I got a good grade on it because like I'm a good writer, and like I enjoy it, and I think like if you enjoy it, then it's gonna be better just because of the fact that you enjoy it.
Right.
So that's really it. And I think also like there's an element of self-improvement to it, so it's like it's cool that you make something and you're like, I want the next thing to be better than this.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of like a challenge. Like I always make the best thing I can make. So now it's like, let's do that, but better.
Mm-hmm.
And like when and the thing is, like I look back, I'm like, when I made the 3D Mario video or something like that was a year ago. And that was the best video I could make back then.
Mm-hmm.
But you compare that to what I made quite literally a year later, and it's like the 3D Mario video is almost unwatchable in comparison for a lot of different reasons, right? And maybe they're nitpicky for me, but that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that has a lot to do with it. But it's also just like, it's cool. Like it's like a cool way of expressing yourself, and then you know other people that also do the same kind of things
Right,
you
at
do.
this
They
point,
watch
it's kind
it.
of like a club.
It's
like,
yeah, it's kind of it's like a club, exactly. It's like, but it's like going to like it's weird to say this because it's like kind of dweeby, but it's almost like, you know, like going to like a jam session, like an improv night or something like that, right? Because it's like you go there and you show your talent, right? And then that becomes the social activity,
Right.
you know. So it's the same thing. Like you go to the share videos, you know, channel on the Discord server.
Right.
You share whatever you make, and then all these people say like, "Whoa, that was really cool. Like I like this. I maybe didn't like." This episode of Interviews, etc. sponsored.
Wait, hold it more this way.
This way?
No.
This way.
Yeah.
This way. It is sponsored by Caramilk, which is when you take a car and then you milk it. You go underneath, you do a little do business, and then you get some delicious Canadian candy that I have not tried. It is the key to your success.
Yeah. The meme about caramel is in all their ads is how do they get the caramel in the caramel bar?
Wait, come back.
No.
There was a.
No.
You done?
No.
Roll credits.
Oh,
I just got an email.
the door beep. Oh.
Yo, let's hear.
So your on reviews video
Mm-hmm.
was probably that. I think that was the Mario video was the first one I seen. But
Which one?
The 3D Mario
The
one.
good Mario video. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
And then on reviews, I think was like right after.
that was the video after it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, Goldfish was
Well,
after
Goldfish doesn't count.
that. Okay. If you
No,
don't
okay.
name it.
No, the whole idea is like I wanted to make other videos because I knew it took so long to make one of these things.
Yeah.
So originally I was like, I'll do unscripted videos. Now the Goldfish thing was that experiment, but it just didn't work out. Like it just wasn't good. So, what I think will eventually happen, because I do like the Quick Thoughts thing on the second channel.
Yeah.
So I might just like when I get better production value, I might just move that over,
Okay.
and I'll just have those breaking up the other content.
Okay.
But,
Sounds good.
so the Goldfish video doesn't count.
Okay, the Goldfish video doesn't count. I shouldn't have watched it then.
I mean, you can. It's fine.
Right. I know about Goldfish
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. They're really good.
now. But then, so, in your End is Nigh video, you say you only have two
What happened
things.
to on reviews?
Well,
Okay, Jess. Sorry, I'm gonna stop criticizing
This is
you.
relevant.
Okay.
In your End is Nigh video, you say you only have two regrets
Mm-hmm.
about the on reviews video.
Yeah.
What are those regrets? I'm sure you might have more.
Two regrets about the on.
I mean, like,
reviews
it might not be the what
Was that
specifically
in,
you were
was that in like the
referring to.
credits thing I
Yeah.
said? So there's 2 regrets.
I mean, what regrets do you have, if you have any? Or like nitpicks that you
I think the thing is like the on reviews video, it kind of ended up being like this weird journalism capstone almost in a way. It's just like in college, like I didn't do much journalism, and it was kind of weird. Like there's a reason why I'm going into editing, and a lot of it is like there's so much like talk about like what journalism is or should be now. So some people say that like the super investigative stuff, which has a bias just from the nature of being investigative. If you're doing research on like Catholic priests, you know, assaulting and raping young children, you're not going to be neutral on that. Right. You're going to say, here's all of the facts that I've found, and that's just political on its own, right? Just like a lesser thing, like climate change, right? Like their whole thing, like that saying that climate change exists is a political and biased statement, but it's also based in fact. Right. So some people say that like, you know, you can't be neutral. You should be in favor of facts rather than neutrality, right? But then there's some people that say that that's a problem because you need to hear all perspectives and all voices. But then if you're hearing all voices, then are you giving people a platform that shouldn't have a platform? Right. And then how do you determine whether someone already has a platform? And then how does all that work? And so there's a lot of questions surrounding that now, and a lot of it has to do with internet culture, social media, 24-hour news networks, all this different kind of stuff, right? So, so the reviews video was kind of my way of being like, hey, like with media reviews, it's this super opinion. These are like ended up being super opinionated pieces when the original idea is you know, help people figure out whether they should buy something or not. Right. So it's kind of like, you know, if in the journalism argument, if you're saying like, oh, you should be super investigative on, I'm not going to bring up the first example because it's a lot, on the climate change thing, right? If you're saying like climate change exists, right? Like there's one way, there are multiple ways of saying that. You can just say climate change exists, facts, or you can say, you stupid climate change deniers, they're going around spreading, you know, like that kind of thing, right? So I think there's a scale to it, and I think a lot of people like go into a review, right? Especially people that make videos on YouTube, and they're not journalists, and they're not like trained in that. And to be fair, most games people especially aren't journalists at all. Like even if they call themselves games journalists, they're not trained in it. You know, as we saw with like the IGN thing, like the Dead Cells review, right? He was a YouTube guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a YouTuber that got hired by IGN, and in his YouTube videos he plagiarized. Okay. But he got hired by IGN and then continued to plagiarize, right? So but like outside of that, like there's a scale. I would say that probably film does it best of everyone. Okay. Because with film, there's like, you know, some people are say, oh, I go to Rotten Tomatoes and look at the number, right? But if you read a film review, a lot of times it's going to focus on stuff like, instead of saying, well, why do I like this? It's going for like the research-based fact approach. So if a film's badly made, that can be your opinion, but there's at least some sort of backing to that, and then that can help like people figure out whether they should watch it or not. But if you just say 3 out of 5 stars, you know, because I don't like blah, 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 that's not really helpful. And so what happens a lot of times, especially on YouTube, which is why I did the April Fool's video this year, is a lot of times on YouTube what happens is people just say, here's my review, and then here's my opinion of this thing. And if people are going and searching on somewhere to find a review to find out whether they should watch this movie or listen to this album or buy this game or read this book or whatever, then that's misleading. Yeah. But the problem is that that term is sort of been co-opted and it has a bunch of different meanings, because you can go on Amazon and like leave a user review on something. It was the last thing I added to the reviews video, was that like on Amazon you could go leave a user review. I mean, it was like a fraction of a sentence, but I added it in because it was really important. Because when I was talking to Alex about my reviews video, he was thinking about leaving Steam reviews. Okay. Where I'm a journalism guy, and I'm thinking like writing for like a newspaper or a website, right? Yeah. But when you say the word review to someone, that means something very different. So what happened was, I think like going to the regret thing, I think the biggest regret wasn't the video itself, it was the not a review thing afterwards. Not because, like, it was really fun, and there's a lot of goofs that came out of it, and a t-shirt,
Right.
But the thing is that I think the way I went about that sort of missed the point, and I think now people are gonna kind of, like, people that were affected by that, and it wasn't a huge impact or anything like that, because, like, it was, like, me, Liam Triforce, and, like, maybe one other person.
Yeah.
Mostly me. But, like, the thing is that when you read something like that, and someone's like, well, your thing isn't a review, then people get defensive about it, and they say, like, well, what do you mean it isn't a review?
That music guy that you, like, the big producer who had that,
oh,
like,
yeah.
whole
Well,
website
he
and
was an Ithaca alum, and he went, he does a bunch of freelance work, and he runs his own, like, side business. Really cool dude. But his focus is on marketing. That's like what he does. He promotes artists, right? But when he does that, then he calls them promoted reviews. That term in itself, like, is kind of a problem.
Yeah.
But in that world, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know? So it you know, and that's also kind of helped me figure out, like, what I want to do with the rest of my life in some way. It's like, you know, I'm not going to go, like, clearly my vision of journalism, my vision of reviews, all these different kinds of things, like, I think I know a lot, and I think there's a lot of good that can happen, but at the same time, it takes more than one person to change something.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I think it's a slow process. So I think if I went out as a reporter or a reviewer or something like that, and I took my approach, I think I don't think I could listen to someone saying, well, you have to take this review copy, or you have to do this sponsored piece, or things like that. And a lot of those things are necessary just for an outlet to function now, like, you know, monetarily speaking. So that's why I'm like, you write your thing, I'll edit it. But with the video itself, I mean, the content was there. I think there were a few things I would have explained better and explained more in detail.
Okay.
But overall, I think it was a good video. I think it still holds up.
Yeah. So at this point, I feel we could use an intermission to cut to something that we did. So what we agreed upon before we came was that each of us would bring a food stuff from our respective regions, i.e. Chicago, myself, New Jersey for Matt, and Montreal for Dennis. And we each brought it, you know, so we could all try unique foods from our respective lands. I don't know why. It just was something to do. Dennis dressed as Canada Man. Matt wore a New Jersey shirt. Well, there's more to it, but I'll explain that in a bit. But, so I brought what is called Malort, as you can see here.
Anyway.
Shh, don't tell them, but we're giving them some of this. Shh. Now, Malort is famously, made in Chicago specifically, and I don't know if it's, like, shipped anywhere else, and B, tastes like utter asshole. Even, like, so they have this fake, you know, like, advertisement. It's like an advertisement about making an ad, where the creator, or at least the owner, I'm sure it was passed down from his grandparents or what have you, he is trying to keep a straight face while he is selling Malort. He's drinking it. Just watch the fucking clip.
Hello, America. My name's Carl Jepson IV. When my great-grandfather Carl arrived in this country, he wanted to share with everybody his mother's sweetest Swedish liqueur recipe. And as the generations change, our promise remains the same: to make the finest Swedish liqueur in the world, Malort. I'll have another. Malort. Oh. I'll have another one. I'll have another. I'll have another.
So yeah, so that's what I brought. So here is John, Dennis, and Matt trying Malort. Yeah, that's a thing.
Lord, 35%.
Holy fuck. It's...
Jepson Malort has the aroma and full-bodied flavor of an unusual botanical. Its bitter taste is savored by two-fisted drinkers.
It tastes like garbage. It's bad. It's like famously bad tasting.
Okay.
And that's the only wording I can really give you. It's not very good, but it's like supposed to.
And you chase it with Fireball.
Well, like, so I never had a shot of it before, and like.
You chased the shot with another shot.
I was drinking a Blue Moon and my friends made me have it. I'm like, fine. And then like, I tried drinking this Blue Moon and it didn't help at all. The only thing that helped is I had to take another shot or something. What? To Shrekfest? To the swamp?
Oh my god. Bless that fan. Holy shit, that's disgusting.
Rumplements. Oh.
The Fireball does help.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it comes back. It's like
It comes back.
it's like bitter and oily. It's like
Oh my god. Oh my god. I took a...
Oh, it came back again. The burn. It's crazy how the Fireball helps.
Yeah, it's the only...
it just covers it up.
Wasn't that fun? I mean, I kind of expected them to hate it more, but they didn't like it, so it worked. That was the plan. And then Dennis, as you probably see in the advertisements, he brought chocolates, the Aero bar and the caramel, and the maple cookies, which were just completely maple, just maple filling, maple cookie. It was just you might as well have just had a bottle of syrup and chugged it. No offense, Dennis. But yeah, and then Matt, he brought what is called, now let me look this up, because there's a technical name, and then there are two colloquial names. Okay, so what it's called is Taylor pork roll. That's important. But Matthew stressed that there is a difference in nomenclature between the regions of New Jersey. So one part, I can't remember which, could be north, could be south. One calls it pork roll, and the other calls it Taylor ham. And so, in any case, he brought some. Now, we didn't have anything to cook it with, because we were in a hotel room, and we didn't, it's like a prepackaged, here's a picture, where my hand is. So, it's like a prepackaged meat. We had nothing to cook it with. So we didn't refrigerate it, though. We left it on our air conditioner, thinking, well, that'll keep it cool, it'll do something. Probably not the greatest thing to have eaten it then, but we did. My brother, he cooked it up with some fried potatoes. So here is footage of us eating that and our reaction. All right, Matt. We've made pork roll or Taylor ham. Look at that. We did some potatoes and onions. Is that what you did?
Yes.
All right. You can have the first try because you made it.
It's very hot. It's bacon.
You hear that? It's bacon. It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's bacon. Yeah. That's very good.
So yeah, there's that. So, that's the intermission. We brought some food. We ate some food. Dennis didn't get to eat any pork roll or Taylor ham, whichever you prefer. So that's kind of sad in retrospect, but maybe next year we'll be more prepared. We'll bring a grill. Fucking hell, the air conditioning or the furnace. All right, back to the video. Bye.
This video is sponsored by... shoot, I forgot. This is a non-smoking room. And if I had only remembered, Zach would not be here in his own room because he is smoking hot right now. Incredibly... Zach, okay, for all the viewers at home, I don't know, like, Zach is, like, big. Like, Zach is like a big boy. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
stand up right now.
Like,
stand up.
Zach is huge.
Like he's not. He can't even fit in the. I'm gonna tilt this thing back because I don't even know how to like.
It's so cool. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's like crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really cool. He's very big. While I'm here, so
No.
this is pronounced feuille d'érable, l'original saveur d'érable,
Oh, beautiful.
and this is an arrow. It doesn't have pop rocks in it. It just, if you decide to put it on the tip of your tongue, the hard surface will melt, and then as the bubbles melt on your tongue, it'll feel like a popping. And then caramel, the joke, the whole thing is that how did they get the caramel in the caramel bar? And for years they had a contest where if you could successfully determine how they got the caramel in the bar, you could go to their factory and like be the CEO for a day. So that's just clearing up all of these brands that have been misrepresented so that we don't get sued, so that you don't get sued.
Thank you.
As your legal team. I'm the one-man legal team.
I'm gonna zoom in on the head
You got
shake.
cheese?
Yeah, you gotta zoom in on the handshake. There we go.
Yeah.
Doing a good time.
Shrekfest 2018, eat your phone.
I'll do it.
You could probably sync on the lip smacking.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Next question. No, in 3rd grade,
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I was so cool.
Yeah.
I wrote a poem about chickens. And it's like, I wrote it in cursive on like, you know those like, you know the like lines that you had like in the paper that you had in like elementary school where it's like they had the like
The
dashed
dotted
lines
line.
in the middle.
Yeah.
So I wrote this poem in cursive in between the dotted lines.
What was it about?
Chickens
Like-
have feathers, chickens say buck, chickens have relatives, but it's not a hawk.
Holy shit.
That's one stanza. I don't remember the others, but that's like a sample. Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
it's sort of Whitman-esque in a way. You know. Good God.
Okay, sorry. In my Chronicle
In your
video.
Chronicle video, you say, at least at the time, obviously you've seen 8th grade, so this could be different, but you said that only two movies had affected you deeply emotionally.
Yeah.
So what are those besides, like,
Chronicle and Pay It Forward.
Pay It Forward?
Pay It Forward is this movie, and it's not good.
Okay.
It's my mom's favorite movie.
Yeah?
I just want to bring that up.
It's not good. Like
Yeah.
it has a lot of problems, right?
Okay.
But
Wait, what is
this,
it about?
the story is about this kid, and he's in 4th grade, and he has this history teacher who's played by some actor whose name escapes me because I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
knew it was like an actual.
And he has scars all over his face.
Yeah, like it's a deal. I mean, Kevin Spacey, kind of like a bad name now, but
Yeah.
I mean, Max Landis is also kind of a bad name now, so all my favorite
I
movies
was
kind of
gonna
screwed.
say.
So many actors, man. So Kevin Spacey's his 4th grade teacher, and he tells his 4th grader, basically, he's like, basically tells his 4th grade class, like, come up with like a plan to change the world, make a positive impact, and then do it.
Yeah.
So the 4th grader's plan, the main character, his plan was this thing called Pay It Forward, which actually like eventually kind of became like a term that people use to do something similar. The idea is, let's say I'm the main character. I do something nice for 3 people.
Okay.
Then, so let's say it's you, Dennis, and Buddy the dog.
Yeah.
Then
Not John, the human. That's
Yeah, who's here?
he's not here.
Buddy ain't here. I'm sorry. Continue. It's alright.
So okay, so I do something nice for all three of you. So I could give Buddy a treat.
Yeah.
I don't know, give you a nice handshake. I don't freaking know. And like, yeah, we got it.
Alright, I'll pay it.
And then like, I don't know. I shared Dennis's SpongeBob movie game video on like Reddit. Like they're bad examples, but like we're gonna go with it. Like usually it's something more substantial, right?
Yeah.
And then you say when I do that, it's like, okay, well I've done that, but now you have to pay it forward. So now you do it to three people, and the whole idea is that it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. And the whole movie,
it's like a nice pyramid scheme.
yeah. So the whole idea, the whole narrative of the movie is that he tries to do it, but he has this really like it's not a good home situation.
Okay.
Like single mom, and she's like works multiple jobs and alcoholic, like bad time, right?
Yeah.
But he tries to figure it out, and by the end of it there's this whole like thing, there's a love triangle, there's like a lot of stuff that happens in the movie, and a lot of it isn't too great. But there's a scene like early on in the movie where he gets bullied by some other kid got bullied by a bunch of them, and he just kept going on. That was before he came with the project.
Oh.
But then at the end of the movie, and I'm not going to say fully what happens, he confronts the bullies.
Okay.
And the whole rest of the movie is just like so good. In like everything, how they like just it's crazy the quality jump there. And that will forever get me emotional every single time.
Okay.
Chronicle is a better movie. Because the whole thing's just solid all the way through. And like it's cool how it jumps from like it's like actually being in high school to a degree. It's like there's these emotional like trips all the way through. So it's like you jump from like having a great day, just being total goose, and then something happens, just a whole wrench in the system. Suddenly the entire mood of the film changes. So it's really good. So I was a huge fan. You mentioned 8th grade. 8th grade's up there.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
8th grade's up there. It's so freaking good. If you haven't seen that movie, like go see it. Because it's like, it's just a movie of this generation. It's very much of this generation. So just everyone needs to see it. Just literally everyone. So, but yeah, those are the two movies anyway.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Now I know why.
Everyone's favorite video, the Danganronpa versus Ace Attorney video, 15,000 views for no reason.
Wait, it's 15,000? I didn't even notice.
It's like 17,000 views now. It's like insane. It's such a bad video.
Right. Well, clap your hand. It is kind of a bad video. Like, it just sort of...
Are you just gonna be is it just gonna be like black and then I clap and you're like, it is a man.
The Ace Attorney, like the fact that you even have Ace Attorney is kind of meaningless, because the point of the video is like,
look how cool Danganronpa is.
That, but also the point is kind of, you don't have to make a game. You could have something that's like lightly interactive, but like it doesn't need to be like this full-fledged game to be interesting. And you just kind of say you can do the things other media do to make it interesting, which is kind of a I don't know. Kind of
well, that was the thing. Like when I went and remade that video, I wanted to focus more on like the thing. It's like, okay, if you're making a game, right? Like, and I think this is the most interesting thing when you make like a movie. It's like, how are you using the visual medium? If you're making music, how are you using audio? And if you're making a video game, then how are you using interactivity, right? And if your interactivity isn't useful, if it's not contributing anything, then why is it there in the first place? I was having this conversation with my friend who like loves the Uncharted games, right? Absolutely loves the Uncharted games. He's like, you're playing a movie, it's like so cool. And I'm like, that's cool because that's what you value. You value the experience, right? But for me, it's like if I want to interact with something, I want that interaction to matter. I want to feel like I am the character interacting and being that. Or maybe I'm not feeling like I am the character, but I'm having mechanical satisfaction because my skill is being tested. Right. Those are all things that, like, where interaction matters, right? Like the coolest thing about like music videos, right, is like how they tell the story of the song visually. That's like one of the coolest things. That's like what the Tribe video is about whenever that comes out, right? Or like one of the coolest things about like the album format. Like that's what the Queen's video is about. Like that was about like the album format is this continuous, like, long-running segment of music, how do you use that? And some people just say, I'm just going to fill it with a bunch of rockin' tracks. And sometimes that's great. But sometimes it's really cool when some people use the tools that people are already, like, people use to consume this stuff to their advantage. You use the radio when people are listening to the CD in their car, because that's a cool framing device that people are already used to.
Yeah.
You use you make some really cool transitions between songs, like Not I Got Infinity, like the King Gizzard album. The coolest thing about that is it uses digital audio formats. That's the coolest thing, because the album seamlessly transitions between every song, and then the last song seamlessly transitions to the first song. So you can listen to the album on loop over and over again. You couldn't do that with vinyl. You couldn't do that with a CD. The weirdest thing is the King Gizzard Not I Got Infinity vinyl, because if you flip it, it just plays a little bit of the end of the previous side, and it's just so stupid. But like, you can't do it. That's the whole point, because the album is designed to be listened to digitally, with not even on a CD, with MP3 files, right, on loop. Like, that's so cool. So I think with the Danganronpa, the first one, I have no idea why I got so many views, because it was a bad video. But like I think that was what I was trying to get at then, and what I tried to get at more with the new one. So it's like with Ace Attorney, it was like, you're Phoenix, right, and then there was an element where, like, the decisions that were being made and how it played out, it's like, that doesn't feel like how it would be if you're Phoenix, right? You know?
Okay.
You wouldn't have the ability to go back through people's statements. Like, that's not how that works. And yeah, there's a puzzle game element to it that, like, doesn't exist in Danganronpa, sure. But, like, the thing that works in that sense, and why people say Danganronpa is immersive, like, there's people, like, so many videos I've been shared because people watch the Danganronpa video. They share me videos that talk about Danganronpa and immersion, right? They're like, Danganronpa's so immersive. Why is it immersive? The reason why is because it frames everything so well, right? And that's what I was trying to get at.
Okay.
Did it badly. But, like, that's what I was trying to get at. And I think, like, that's a cool aspect of the interactive medium.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like, me saying that Uncharted doesn't use the interactive medium well doesn't mean Uncharted shouldn't exist, or that people shouldn't like it. That's the whole thing. It's like, I mean, going back to reviews things, like, you know, the whole point of that isn't to say dismiss people's tastes, right? It's about accounting for people's tastes. When people make, like, a video essay, like, some people are just like, this game sucks, I hate it, you know? Or, like, and the same thing with, like, album reviews and stuff like that. Like, some people are quick to just be like, this thing is complete garbage, right? And, like, sometimes it is. But, like, sometimes there's an element where it's like, well, I kind of like this, but I don't like this as much. That's why, like I mentioned, I love Dead End Hip Hop so much. You get those varying perspectives. There are times where one dude is like, nah, I did not like this at all.
And, who wants things to bump in the whip. And then you got Mike Seatown, who's about, like, the weird Death Grip scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it, exactly. But then there are times when, like, A$AP Rocky's album comes out, and they're all like, this is, like, fantastic. And I still have to listen to that, because I'm, like, I'm really interested. Because, like, I gave it a shot, and I was like, nah, but I might give it another shot.
Did you put out an album this year?
Yeah, Testing. Came out this year.
Oh, A$AP. Oh, I was thinking
A$AP.
A$AP Rock.
A$AP Rocky.
Very easy.
Very different. You gotta add the E.
Yeah, okay.
So, very different. But yeah, he came out with an album.
Okay.
But most importantly, Death Grip's album came this year. It was really good.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, it's on the computer right
Yeah,
there.
I saw it,
It's really good. That album cover is ridiculous.
Could you actually give me the album? Like, pass me the file?
Like illegally?
Is it illegal?
Ooh, who knows?
That's a great area.
It is, but no, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything for more people to listen to this.
Right.
Support the official release.
I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna fucking buy it.
Okay.
In your songs for the Death video, where did you drive to?
Oh. Okay.
The hard hitting.
I recorded it. I actually recorded that multiple times, believe it or not, because the deal was, it actually worked out. There was this weird thing with it, because, like, if you listen to it, like, one of the problems is if you have, like, copyrighted music in the background, it'll get copyright claimed, right? So, like, the key to like doing that. If you don't want people to like really listen to the lyrics and it's just noise in the background and stuff like that, and it's supposed to be like that, you just distort the audio, right? The cool thing was I used to have an iPhone, and the mic on the iPhone bugged out, and people might notice if they watch the second channel because there's a period of time where I recorded everything with earbuds in, so I was recording with the mic on the earbuds. So like the mic was really bad, so I had the iPhone on my like GPS stand in my car, and it recorded the audio, and the audio was so bad that like it didn't sound like the thing.
Yeah.
So it was already just stored on its own. So it was really cool. But one of the problems was the storage capacity issue.
Yeah.
Similar to what we're encountering in this very interview. So I couldn't just record the whole trip with the album. So then I cleared a bunch of storage and did it again. So the original trip was me driving up to college after a break.
Okay.
The other time was me driving back from family vacation early.
Mhm.
And so my family has there's a family beach house in Delaware, and a bunch of family members rotate through it.
Yeah.
So went there. I was like, I'm gonna come back early because I wanted to spend time with friends. I don't remember the whole thing, but it was. No, because this was you know what it was? Because this was over winter break, so we didn't actually go to the beach because it was like winter. But we were helping clean out the house because it was like there was some stuff going on, so we needed to clean out the house. And we did that, and they wanted to stay an extra day for something, and I was like, I'm gonna go home because of XYZ reason. So I did. And then the whole drive home, I just recorded that, and then I finished the album, and then it was perfect timing because I was running low on gas. So finished the album, got gas, then jammed to something else, worked out. But that's how that worked. And then that way, anytime I was talking about a specific lyric, then I had footage in the background. That like the need for what footage I put in a video has driven so many ridiculous creative decisions. It's insane. Like the reason why I recreated the whole UI was because I was like, what do I cut back to?
Yeah.
That's why I did that.
Right.
And that took like years, but that's why I built the Danganronpa UIs because it's like I need to cut back to something, so let's just cut back to me.
Right.
Cut back to Shrekfest people in the hallway. Have a good Shrekfest.
That's a baby,
It's
dude.
like a baby.
Oh god.
Okay. So it drove a bunch of fun creative decisions.
Yeah.
I played a game of Monopoly with a really good college friend of mine, basically family. Recorded a game of Monopoly with her because it's like, what do we cut back to? And that's what we did. So we played a game of Monopoly. And she was always like, I'm never playing a game of Monopoly with you. Because we played Fortune Street on the Wii.
Uh-huh.
And that was a disaster because I was I'm trying to, sometimes, and I inherited this from my dad, sometimes I explain things too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I make videos, I say so, I mean, but we're playing a game, and I have to resist the urge to explain people things that I'm thinking about when I play the game. So if I'm playing Monopoly with someone, I'll be like, here's the dominant strategy. That was what the original video was until it evolved into what it ended up being. And originally just me saying here's the dominant strategy video of Monopoly. That's not much better than the Mario running videos.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it would go somewhere, and it did.
Yeah.
But anyway, the game ended up being fun because I could resist that urge. It's just I did all the voiceover. This is for the video.
Mm-hmm.
She already knew the whole video, so it was it worked out. So it was fun. So it's whatever weird creative thing I end up doing usually comes down to what do I need to cut back to.
Right. So, I mean, I gotta say, you've released 3 pretty fucking amazing videos this year. You've got the Quatsa video, you've got Monopoly, which I want to show.
Sorry, keep going. That works. I just have never heard that.
Oh, you never
before.
heard that? Okay.
But it's good. I like it. Yeah.
That's Queens of the Stone Age for you.
You plebs out there.
Yeah. The Monopoly video, which I want to show everyone. I think that's an amazing video.
Thanks.
I mean, it's cool. Your videos are pretty. I like how educational they can be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, learning the dominant strategy to a game
Right.
isn't exactly the most educational. But I actually learned stuff, and then you tied in at the end with the
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
Very good. And just I mean, obviously you're editing, your editing ethos and stuff, which you had picked up from what was the guy's name?
I mentioned this earlier. Mr. Amazing.
Mr. Amazing. I don't know if that's gonna be in this.
I'm
'Cause we've
I'm
lost
pretty
somebody.
sure. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but like no, Mr. Amazing. Like there's like the way he explained it, and it worked really well. Like the point of like this goes back to like the whole point of if you're using a medium, then use it.
Yeah.
You know. So if you're using the visual medium, then use it.
Mm-hmm.
So maintain visual interest because you're using the visual medium. So so layer 1 is just like no visuals. Layer 2 is just show whatever visuals.
Yeah.
Layer 3 is show relevant visuals. And then above that then is like not only showing relevant visuals but then introducing them and presenting them in a particular way for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And so that's where and that's like the most interesting part of editing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, we were saying like.
But yeah, your Monopoly video does that in spades. And then Danganronpa, pretty long. You know, not for everyone. I spoiled the games for myself to see it, which is fine.
That's cool.
But yeah,
I mean, like
the
if you
editing
want
in
to
that-
do like the only thing with that, I'm gonna call it Scott Hat Wearing Gamer here because like when I played the games first and then he went ahead and played it and like he's on my butt about spoilers because like I said I say too much sometimes. So like I'm like and honestly like I've seen the consequences of it. Me and a Twitch chat single-handedly ruined Undertale for Hat Wearing Gamer.
Wow.
Single-handedly, right? Because that's a game where people are inclined to say here's the right way to play the game, but that ruins the whole thing. Like the whole idea is you just go into it, you do whatever you do, and then you learn from that, and then that keeps going. And I'm not going to keep going with this. I was going to make a whole Undertale commentary, right?
Right.
But that didn't pan out, and I put the whole script on Patreon because that was fun. I might actually talk about it, like some of the stuff I was going to talk about there at some point, but I don't know. But like that's the whole point of the game. So like spoilers are really important. But like he was I was like when I came up with the idea of like people appearing in the video, because I was like that wasn't a visual interest thing. That was an audio interest thing. Because if you're making a video that long, like you were saying, like it's not for everyone.
Right.
And one thing, my dad used to teach some classes, and so what he would do is he would say that you can pay attention for 7 minutes.
Okay.
The human brain can focus on one thing for 7 minutes. So obviously, like if topics change and stuff like that, that they can maintain interest. But his strategy was to teach for 7 minutes and then just do something ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
And then suddenly people are laughing at that. He's like, okay, let's keep going. And that doesn't work all the time. But I think with the Danganronpa video, it was like not crazy goofs, but it was like a little bit of a thing that just like snapped you back into it. Because I think there are times where you could just zone out a little bit.
Right.
And, you know, yeah, they're like really wide. That faucet's been on for a while over there.
Wait, that's a faucet?
I think so.
I thought it was just the general plumbing. Anyway.
Maybe. I'm just like, how long do they wash their hands for? Like, holy. Okay, anyway, so when I decided that I was going to have all these people appear in the video, I was like, Scott is going to be Monokuma, and he's going to deliver the spoiler warning to me in the video. That was like immediately, like, that's how it has to be, because he's always on my butt about spoilers.
Yeah.
So anyway, like, fine that you've spoiled the entire game. Complete tangent, but like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But 3 videos came out this year. 4th one coming out sometime.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous. I'm
Why?
impressed. I mean, I only put out my Magic Mike video. I started in like December
But it
of
shows.
2017. I guess.
But it really shows.
I
know.
want quality and quantity.
Because like that, it definitely like that video feels like something you wrote and rewrote and like reworked and like rethought about and like did it, and it was like a good time. So that's really cool. Or like sometimes like one of my issues with writing, and like it was so cool. Like you mentioned Miles earlier. Like I've been helping Miles with his Metal Gear script.
Yeah.
And
same.
like, it's so cool how he's just willing to just throw away something so good.
Yeah.
Just because he's like, I think it could be better. what happens with me is usually I write something and I'm like, this is really good, and then I just kind of stick with it, and I don't have the courage to scrap something after putting that much work in, you know? And so, yeah, I'm like, I'm going to try and make the next thing better, but, you know, sometimes you might write something that's just not there, and then it's just never going to be as good as it could be, or won't be better than the last thing you made.
Yeah.
So I think that takes a lot of courage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dropped a script once. It was going to be on this anime movie, Princess Kaguya. It was when I was like watching more anime YouTube and stuff, and I was like, I want to get in that game.
Yeah, Danganronpa's the extent for me. People are like, Matt, look at all this anime. I'm like, yo, is it Dragon Ball and like Danganronpa and like, and of course Cory in the House.
God damn it.
And that's about it.
Right. That's all the classic anime that you really need.
True.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Where were you going?
It's late.
They were having fun.
We're having fun.
Are we having fun?
John did a Anglo-American John
Wait.
Hey, give me an eh.
Mexican?
Give me an eh.
He's Mexican.
No, you gotta get like put some real chutzpah in it. like eh.
Well, we just woke up. Everyone in the hotel.
We said we would.
So I think I'm gonna wrap things up. But your Eminem video, it'll probably be out by the time I fucking finish.
Maybe
this,
we'll see.
But your Eminem video's coming out.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you for making videos. No, they're not anything like that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for, I mean, I don't know how, no, you, it's Dennis was why I got in. But thank you for befriending me, and, you know, I commented on your reviews video, and I commented some things that I don't remember and probably regret, so I apologize.
Yo, you're good. I've commented some regrettable things too.
Right.
Do you know the YouTuber John? Like his actual name is just John, like youtube.com/John.
No.
Hey, well, he does like he does like all sorts of different videos. The things he's most known for probably is Movie Night, which is a movie review show where kind of fits a lot of the tropes of the review thing I was kind of talking about earlier, but it has a lot of views, and he does a really good job with what it is. Like, it could be a lot worse, and it has good production value, and he does bring up a lot of good points most of the time. And he also incorporates like audience ratings and audience like feedback in there, which I think is really cool. So that's called Movie Night. But another thing that he did for a while, and I don't know if he still does, it's called The World According to John, and it's just like him talking about random news stuff. And I was in middle school, and he said, I don't even remember what it was, but if he said something that was like totally reasonable, but I was in middle school and I was raised in, so World According to John, he said something that was like totally reasonable. Now I comment, because I was brought up in this, wasn't aware about these social issues, so I comment something so ignorant. Yeah. I don't even remember what it was, but like he responds like, are you a fucking moron? Like, holy, and I'm like, oh, okay. So like, it's the internet. Like you know, it's a fun time.
It's not even like I said anything aggressive. It's just
no.
I imagine like what I said was like not that well thought out, and it was reactionary.
Yo, I deleted a bunch of my old tweets because like, it's like you don't want to go and get those high school tweets of me talking about like my freaking
his penis. No, not your penis.
It was like a penis video game. It was on Kickstarter or something. It was on Steam, Greenlight. I don't remember what it's called. I think this is like kind of. I think we're kind of trailing off now.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's been like a slow fade out this entire
this
time.
This whole affair is a bit flaccid now. Fucking cut it.
Yo,
what,
Shrekfest.
the foreskin?
We said it would come up, and it did. With a vengeance.
Shrekfest 2018, what up?
This thing's actually, this video, like all those other sponsors, Those weren't the real sponsors. The real sponsor is all you people out there with foreskin. You're sponsoring the video. Give us money.
Did you just confirm that? This is such a stupid joke.
All right.
Did I just confirm whether or not I got circumcised?
We're done.
What
Yeah.
is that's the real mystery.
Do you want me to turn this off? Okay.
We're gonna make their blood fill the streets. We're gonna paint the houses crimson and watch it turn brown.